Let's turn now to business news with Nona Peltier. Nona, the media company NZME has called it quits on its attempts to merge with its rival Stuff. So where does this leave both companies?
Well, I think it's going to leave some people very disappointed and others pretty happy, because this has been a really difficult attempted merger. The Commerce Commission knocked them back. It's been going back and forth for 2 years. And it's been unsettling for both companies and for the people who work there and for all the publications that are involved in all of this, because it's been unsettling. It would have involved some closures and some community newspapers and that sort of thing. And that was the concern that the Commerce Commission had all along. And the parties took their case as far, I guess, as they could. And now they've decided to give it a rest and go their separate ways. And that's how it's going to be. What happens next? I suppose we're going to see a lot of changes. Certainly Sky Television is in that mix too. It's not just Sky Television. It's, all the media companies are faced with a lot of difficult choices as advertising revenues fall.
Yeah, no merger doesn't necessarily mean all the jobs are safe, does it?
No, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't. It's just a different time now. And what happens next, I guess we'll wait and see. NZME's share price was steady today following this announcement. So what were they at? Yeah, they finished up at 63 cents. And so that was basically where they ended off yesterday.
Hey, this story has caught my eye. New Zealand moved up in the ranks as the second riskiest country in the world in a global insurance study, behind Bangladesh.
Yes, Bangladesh is in a different category altogether, because while we are second, we swapped spots with Chile, which was third this time around. Last time it was second. And that's following, the last time they did a report was 2012. And so there's additional costs with the Canterbury earthquake. We've had additional earthquakes, big ones. We've had floods. And, there's a lot of risk here in New Zealand. I mean, there's things that haven't happened, like volcanic eruptions, for example. So when Lloyd looks around the world and says, oh, where's the biggest risk? They see New Zealand. And one of the reasons why we feature so high is because our economy is so small relative to, say, the United States, which also has its share of natural disasters, but a much larger economy to absorb that. So risk being against a backdrop of economic size too. So that's why we're number two. Bangladesh, though, is in a worse position, because while we are one of the riskiest, we're also one of the most insured. And we have some, we spoke earlier with the head of the Insurance Council, Tim Grafton. This is what he had to say.
It's just a clear reminder to us that we in New Zealand can never be complacent because we have a very high level of risk compared to other countries. This generation has experienced Canterbury and Kaikoura, extreme weather events and floods. So we need to focus on being a resilient country and ensuring our building codes are high to make ourselves more resilient to earthquakes. We need to be looking to the future, the long view around climate change risks, and avoid putting property and lives in areas that will be at significant risk in future. So I think it's just a very timely reminder.
That's the Insurance Council's Chief Executive, Tim Grafton.
So what about the markets today, Nona? Any excitement?
Well, a little bit. There's always some. So our index fell more than 1/3%. That was down 31 points to 8,642. And that was very much in line with Asia. That's worried about other things now, including Saudi Arabia, perhaps ramping up oil production, which saw some volatility in oil prices too. But our dollar was steady at 65.6 US cents, 92.4 Australian, and 50.5 pence.
Thank you so much. That's Nona Peltier with our business news there.